Well, this is confusing because Season 27 didn't just add the Olympus update, but also, if we go over to Broken Moon, there has been a secret update. Now parts of the map have destruction. Seriously, I think they added this a bit early. Also, Respawn have removed Olympus from the game, we have new inspect animations, let's get into it. Starting off though, now people have been able to experiment with Season 27, they've discovered some secret changes, like over on Caustic. He has kind of had a bit of a nerf, as now his gas traps have a domino effect. This was noticed by someone over on Reddit, but now your gas traps can essentially activate each other through their own gas damage. So if you have a gas trap here, here, and here, and one of them activates, it will then activate the other one, which will then activate the next one. This was not an announced change, but it is new. And a lot of people are theorizing this is to prevent Caustics from spamming gas traps in one single position and selectively activating them. So now, if you have a room full of gas traps and one activates, it's likely that all of them will activate at the same time. So if you are a Caustic main, you might want to go into the firing range and check the activation radius of your gas traps now, because it is now possible to do a wave of gas. Also, a lot of people have discovered something interesting about Horizon. Her glide passive isn't identical to Lifeline's, it's actually a bit more powerful, as when Lifeline's glide is put next to Horizon's glide, people actually notice that Horizon's glide doesn't drop off at all, and it keeps you on a fairly steady horizontal route, so it's pretty useful for being able to land on rooftops, but with Lifeline's glide, you actually descend a lot quicker, so you may struggle to land on those rooftops that Horizon can land on. The one benefit to Lifeline's glide is the upgrades. You can get upgrades that make it last way longer than Horizon's passive glide. Speaking of Horizon, you might not want to carry cells anymore if you're playing Horizon, as people did also discover, if you get the fast full perk on Horizon and the shield regen when your passive gets activated, you can actually just force your passive to activate by jumping off pretty low edges with the fast fall, which will give you shield, which allows you to literally just do this to get free shield. Seriously, this is just a thing now. In reality, I don't think this is going to replace cells for a lot of people, but if you are scraping by, especially in ranked, this might be pretty useful to you. While we are messing about in the fire range, obviously this season the Mythic R99 was released, and as it is a Mythic, it came with new inspect animations and pretty much new animations over the board. This meant in playtests in the early days of the season, a lot of people did not notice the base R99, the non-Mythic version, got a brand new inspect this season. It's a pretty simple inspect, but it finally means it does not have that default inspect animation anymore, which is absolutely great. Hopefully we do see Respawn completely replace all of the base inspects on the weapons and give them unique inspects, and Respawn are getting pretty close. Also, they have added another trick shot inspect, which I massively respect them for. If you're not aware, a few months ago they added a Kraber trick shot inspect, where if you were in the air of a Kraber and inspected it, a very quick animation will play, which was flashy and great combined with trick shots. And Respawn just added a new one to the Sentinel in time for the reactive skin, which is great. And honestly, this is my favorite trick shot inspect so far. But obviously that wasn't the biggest thing added in Season 27. The biggest thing by far was the map update. But now, the Olympus map update only exists in pubs and bot royale. It no longer exists in mixtape or ranked, because Respawn removed it, seriously. If you're wondering why Olympus disappeared from ranked one night, this is why. They started by tweeting, "We will temporarily be removing the Olympus map from control in Apex, as a bug is preventing players from capturing point A. We have a fix in the works and will have it out soon, as we're confident it has resolved the issue. Thanks for your patience." And then they followed this tweet by saying, "We're also aware of Olympus performance issues affecting ranked and have removed it from map rotations for now. We're investigating and will share more info when we have a fix." So not only is Wildcard Olympus not out yet, we now don't have it on 2 of the modes. And ranked is definitely more popular than pubs right now, so it's a shame that the only way to really play it is through a bot mode or pubs. Although I'm fairly confident it is not long until Respawn get this sorted. They seemed pretty confident that this was going to be a quick fix. Because less people are playing Olympus, more people are being forced onto Broken Moon, which is in rotation this season. And they've noticed something. If you fly down to Quarantine Zone and go to one of those elevated side rooms, you may notice one side has a different glass panel to any other glass panel in Apex. First of all, it's purple, and second of all, it has a prompt on it. And this prompt says barricade, no matter which legend you are playing. For some reason, the only legend it did not say barricade on for me was Mad Maggie. They just removed her prompt, not sure what that's about. But by far the most important thing about this glass is the fact that if you shoot it enough, it will break. Like literally, it will take almost different damage to any other thing in the game. It will break, and then you will be able to shoot through this glass, I guess. So it is breakable glass that Respawn either added as a teaser or an accident. Unfortunately, this glass is missing a few features. The barricade function doesn't work, and also there is no breaking effect when you damage it. And there's some evidence that points towards the fact this may become a feature in the future, most likely next season. Breakable glass in Apex. As if we go over to Olympus, Respawn have actually started to tease this, and I even talked about it yesterday, but I didn't realise it was part of this breakable glass thing until this pane was discovered. As on Summers University, there are interactable displays, and one of them is for this purple pane here, and when compared to the breakable glass on Broken Moon, it's very similar, and Horizon has something very interesting to say about it, which actually hints towards the gameplay mechanic and how it's going to work when it comes to game. And considering Respawn accidentally added it this season, I would probably bet breakable glass is going to be added next season. In Horizon's Town Takeover, this is what she says about the breakable glass.
Now, I can guarantee you've never seen something like this before. This was made to reduce environmental waste. It can heal itself when broken and regenerate to its original state. Given its complexity, I do wonder if this was something Newton and I worked on together.
So it seems like this material, this glass, is going to be able to regenerate itself. So this does make me more inclined to believe this is a thing Respawn put in early, either to tease a future gameplay feature or maybe as an accident. But either way, I do feel pretty confident that this is just going to be a future addition in Apex. Breakable glass, and it will regenerate after being damaged, as shown by this little bit of lore here. So if you have a fight and all your windows get broken, they will come back like a minute later, so you can keep the building you're in. Additionally, I would imagine Respawn made breakable glass purple to make it readable to players which glass can break. If this is actually going to be a feature in the future, it's going to be pretty cool in my opinion, because currently Alter is the only legend that can breach walls, and if an enemy team of a Caustic, a Rampart, and a Watson, all legends that have recently received buffs to their defensive capabilities, are held up in a room, normal players are really going to struggle to enter because they'll only be able to enter through doorways, while Alter can enter through any wall she wants, making her very desirable. So I would imagine breakable glass is going to be Respawn giving another option to people without Alters on their team to breach buildings. Also, this is going to be huge for rotations. There have been so many games where an enemy team gets trapped in a building by the ring and they just Alter portal through the wall instead of taking ring damage. So breakable windows are also going to open up more rotations for players and also more opportunities to ride the edge zone for a bit of a longer time. So you can test out this mechanic right now in Quarantine Zone in Broken Moon. It's pretty cool. See if you can interact with it any further than I've been able to interact with it. Maybe there's some secrets to it, and subscribe to see where this all goes.